Your grandfather bought a house at 25 with a high school diploma. You have a master's degree and can barely afford rent. This isn't an accident. This isn't because you buy too much avocado toast. And this definitely isn't about hard work. What if I told you that the largest wealth transfer in human history is happening right now, but it's going in the opposite direction of what everyone thinks? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why you're working harder than any generation before you and still falling behind. And no, the answer isn't just invest in index funds. Let's start with the numbers they don't want you looking at too closely. In 1970, the average home cost 2.3 times the median household income. Today, that same ratio is over 7 times in most markets. In some cities, it's approaching 15 times. But here's where it gets interesting. While your purchasing power has been evaporating, asset values have been exploding. The S&P 500 has returned over 2,000% since 1990. Real estate in major metros has appreciated 500 to 800%. So who benefited from this massive wealth creation? Not you, not your peers. According to the Federal Reserve's own data, Americans over 55 control 72% of all household wealth. Millennials and Gen Z, who make up roughly 46% of the population, they control less than 9% of the wealth. Think about that. Nearly half the population controls less than 1/10 of the wealth. But this is where the conspiracy-curious part of your brain should be tingling, because this didn't happen by accident. Let me show you the mechanism they've been using to quietly transfer wealth from the young to the old. It has a boring name, quantitative easing. But what it actually does is fascinating and infuriating. Since 2008, the Federal Reserve has printed over $8 trillion, not metaphorically printed, actually created new money. They bought bonds, they bought mortgage-backed securities, they injected liquidity into markets. Now, Economics 101 tells you that when you increase the money supply, you get inflation. And we did. But not where you'd expect. Consumer goods? Yeah, they went up. But asset prices? They absolutely exploded. Stocks, real estate, bonds, even art and collectibles. Everything people use to store wealth went parabolic. Here's the transfer. If you already owned assets, you got massively richer. If you didn't own assets yet, because you were too young, just entering the workforce or paying off student loans, you got massively poorer in relative terms. Boomers bought their houses in the 70s, 80s, and 90s when they were affordable. Gen X got in before the 2008 crash or bought during the recovery. But Millennials and Gen Z? You're trying to buy into markets that have been artificially inflated for 15 years straight. And when rates dropped to near zero, it wasn't to help you buy a house. It was to inflate the value of assets that other people already owned. This is the wealth transfer. Silent, legal, devastating. Now let's talk about what this is doing to the entire economy, because this isn't just about your personal finances anymore. Young people drive consumer economies. You buy houses, which means you buy furniture, appliances, lawnmowers. You have kids, which means car seats, strollers, bigger cars. You start businesses, take risks, innovate. But you can't do any of that when you're drowning in student debt and spending 50% of your income on rent. The economy isn't just making you poorer. Your poverty is making the economy weaker. Birth rates in the US are at historic lows. Why? It's the economy, stupid. People can't afford kids. A middle-class lifestyle that once supported a family of 4 on one income now barely supports one person. This isn't about changing cultural values. It's about math. Entrepreneurship has been declining for decades. Why? Because starting a business requires capital, risk tolerance, and a safety net. When you're living paycheck to paycheck with no assets and massive debt, you can't take risks. You have to take the corporate job with the health insurance. The system isn't just extracting wealth from young people, it's extracting potential, innovation, the future itself. If you are enjoying this breakdown, subscribe, like, and share. That's all I ask for researching and making these informational videos. Also, consider sharing with someone who should know more about personal finances and the outside factors that affect them. Now back to our regular scheduled program. Okay, so you understand the game is rigged. What do you actually do about it? Here's the uncomfortable truth. You have to play the rigged game better than it's designed to be played. The wealth transfer is happening through asset appreciation. That means you need to own assets, even small amounts. Can't afford real estate? Buy REITs. Can't invest thousands? Start with fractional shares. The goal is to get on the wealth escalator, even if you're starting at the bottom step. Max out your 401k match first. That's free money. Then Roth IRA, then taxable brokerage. The exact order matters less than the commitment to ownership. If you can work remotely, geographic arbitrage is your weapon. Earn San Francisco money, pay Oklahoma rent. This is how you accumulate capital faster than the system expects. Look for asymmetries everywhere. Low interest rates, lock in long-term debt. High inflation, your mortgage gets cheaper in real terms every year. The social contract is broken. Your employer won't take care of you. The government can't. You need multiple income streams that aren't dependent on one source. Side business, freelancing, content creation, dividend income, rental income. Whatever fits your skills. The goal is resilience. In a rigged system, flexibility is power. Don't trap yourself with golden handcuffs. Keep your skills marketable. Keep your expenses low. Keep your options open. The wealth transfer benefits those who can't move, can't adapt, can't pivot. Be the opposite of that. Here's what keeps me up at night, and what should concern everyone watching this. This wealth concentration is unsustainable. Not morally unsustainable, economically unsustainable. Every time in history that wealth inequality has reached these levels, something breaks. Sometimes it's social unrest. Sometimes it's market crashes. Sometimes it's political upheaval. The boomers will be the wealthiest generation in human history. They'll also be the last generation to experience the prosperity they knew. Unless something fundamental changes. Some solutions being discussed. Housing reform to increase supply. Student debt forgiveness. Wealth taxes. Universal basic income. I'm not here to tell you which policies are right, but I am telling you that the current trajectory is unsustainable and change is coming whether we plan for it or not. In the meantime, you have to look out for yourself. Understanding the system is the first step, playing it strategically is the second, and building wealth despite the headwinds is the third. Your grandfather could buy a house at 25 because the economic conditions allowed it. You can't because the economic conditions prevent it. This isn't about blaming boomers as individuals. Most of them didn't design this system. They just benefited from it. And many of them have no idea how different the game is for younger generations. But the wealth transfer is real. The data is undeniable, and the economic consequences are just beginning. The question is, what are you going to do about it? If this video made you see the economy differently, share it. The more people who understand what's happening, the harder it becomes to ignore. Drop a comment telling me what strategy you're using to build wealth despite the headwinds. Let's learn from each other. And subscribe, because I'm breaking down exactly how money and power actually work, not how they tell you it works. The game is rigged, but that doesn't mean you can't win.